In this video, I'll talk about Siem. Siem stands for Security Information and Event Management. It's an enterprise-class monitoring and remediation tool. So it allows us to view security-related events in real time, and it also allows us to view that data from a single point of view. Pictured in the diagram, we can see that our Siem solution can gather data from many sources, including servers, switches, routers, even PLCs in more industrial environments. The Siem solution, through its monitoring and storage of data, can help identify trends and patterns over time, but it can also be used to detect events that are out of the ordinary. A Siem solution is usually one or more virtual appliances that technicians connect to using a web browser interface. And the technician might then work with a dashboard that has charts and graphs and certain warnings. And for instance, a pie chart might even have multiple slices that each indicate the number of occurrences of certain types of incidents on a single network device. So there are many great benefits to using Siem, especially in a larger environment. Siem solutions often are a combination of security information management as well as security event management. So we can detect some kind of events that look suspicious, but we can also take gathered security information such as standard log file information and identify patterns over time. And as our networks keep growing and growing, because we keep adding things like smartphones and laptops and so on, often we'll need a centralized tool that can do just that, to monitor security information and to also be able to manage events as they occur. The Siem solution will collect data into a central repository. Siem solutions always use some kind of a back-end database to store this data. Naturally, depending on the amount of data that needs to be processed and stored and analyzed will determine how many virtual appliances you need that do Siem analytics. So we might collect, for example, log files from different devices, whether they're intrusion prevention system devices, server operating systems, or it could even include vulnerability scanners, and so on. Now, because those file formats for log files might differ from platform to platform, a Siem solution has to be able to accommodate various file formats. Also, with Siem solutions, they're designed to have the ability to quickly look at large data sets to search for something that is relevant. So, for example, if we're looking at PCI DSS compliance for companies that work with cardholder data, we might need to quickly identify user accounts that have been inactive for a period of time because they need to be disabled in order to adhere to PCI DSS compliance. Siem can use multiple collection agents that can run on network devices and report back to the centralized Siem virtual appliance. There's a hierarchy in the sense that all of the gathered data on the client is sent back up to a centralized host where reporting takes place. Now, you might even have a hierarchy that has multiple levels of Siem hosts, where in the end, all of the reporting data is sent back up the hierarchy to a single Siem instance. So we can gather information from many locations, like end-user devices. Now, naturally, that would include log files for things like operating systems on smartphones and laptops, but also even events that occurred, like when a user plugged in a USB thumb drive on a laptop. That would be gathered by a Siem agent and sent back to the Siem appliance, and it will be dealt with from there. Information can also be gathered from servers, various types of network devices like routers and switches, firewalls, and intrusion detection systems. So the idea is we might even have our Siem system with an agent on a database server that is configured to detect an abuse of privileges within that database application. Siem systems are either rule-based, where we configure rules to tweak them for our specific environment, or they could be statistic correction engine-based, where there's correlation that takes place. For instance, if it sees that there are way too many packets coming from a single IP address within a short period of time, it might report that as abnormal activity. The best Siem solutions actually contain both of these options. Considerations for Siem solutions include facts such as that the installation could be complex, especially on a larger scale where we need to deploy collection agents on many different types of devices. It can also be complex to administer when it comes to building a rule set that is specific to your environment. And in some cases, they can be expensive. However, it might be well worth the cost if we need to run a Siem system to pass some kind of compliance audit such as PCI DSS. In this video, we talked about Siem,